welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Speak On It podcast. I'm your host, Big Mike. We are back in the building. Another long, horrible week in sports. Just sad times. But we're here for you guys, and you know I'm not alone. We'll be running a 3-man weave tonight, but you know I've got my man, the mad producer, Podcast Poppy, in the building.
I'm gonna have nightmares because I was just on Twitter and I watched Chucky stab Liv Morgan like 3 times. So that's not good for my psyche.
She died in that episode?
I don't know, but I just watched her get stabbed and I said, I gotta move. I keep moving. For those of you who don't know, I'm the biggest wimp of all time when it comes to scary shit. So
I didn't know that.
I'm a big old puss bag.
Oh. Oh, I could hear Janice laughing in the back.
It's true. We went and saw this shitty horror movie, The Collector, 10 years ago. And
tell me you didn't get messed up over The Collector.
Okay.
Dylan. Oh my God.
Because she didn't believe me. She thought it was one of those things. She's like, "Oh, you're just saying that to be like cute, whatever. You're trying to like get me to hold you in the movie theater." I was legitimately in the movie theater like this.
That movie was nothing. There was like a handful, if that, of jump scares. If that.
When I tell you guys that I'm not like that for scary movies, I am not like that. I don't like that shit, man.
Man, yeah, Michael Myers is just not for you then.
No. I watched Halloween H2O 20 years ago.
That movie's hilarious, Dylan. There's nothing scary about that movie.
Everything's scary about that movie.
Oh my God. Like, how can you not appreciate
honestly, I don't even really remember it, but isn't fucking Busta Rhymes in that movie?
No, that's the next one.
The
that one's even worse. That one's even worse. If you can watch you can't watch that one. I don't know what to tell you because that one's even worse.
I watched that shit when I was like 10, and I barely remember it because I was too busy fucking crying.
That movie's even worse. Like, the spoiler for I don't know who's watching this that hasn't seen that movie.
We're doing spoiler alert for a 20-year movie.
Busta Rhymes beats up Michael Myers in hand-to-hand combat at the end of the fight, at the end of the movie. Like, what are we doing? In what world is Busta Rhymes two-piecing Michael Myers? Like, that movie, like I said, that movie's a comedy.
Hey, man, I don't watch any of that shit, man. I don't play scary games. I don't do that shit.
Have you played Resident Evil? All these. Oh.
I haven't.
Oh.
I watched my stepdad play Resident Evil Nemesis when I was 7.
Scarred you for life.
I'm all set. There's a scene in that game where you're fighting Nemesis in like the front of the police station. That and Parasite Eve. Those 2 games for a 7-year-old me, nightmare fuel. But when I get my situation where I'm not in my living room and I'm up in my studio, I will be streaming games, and I do plan on streaming scary games for those of you who don't believe me.
You've never played Dead by Daylight?
No. I have it.
Oh, man.
I have Resident Evil Biohazard. I have Resident Evil Remastered. I have all those games. I played Dead Space. I played a good amount of Dead Space. I will never finish that game. That game's scary.
Oh, man, that is unfortunate.
I may because they're remaking Dead Space, so I may dabble on a stream or so, but I don't know.
Not happening. Well, I mean lucky for you, this would technically be our Halloween episode. It'll be Halloween after this. But I wish I would have known that. I would have changed our logo orange. But oh well. You live and you learn. Spooky season unfortunately came for the Yankees, who bowed out ungracefully.
Ungracious, yeah. Oof, not great.
Just the Yankees bowed out so bad. Literally had our whole podcast arguing with each other in the chat about what is wrong and what needs to happen. Just
everything. That's the answer. It's everything.
We're all just yelling at each other for random reasons, and it was all pain yelling. We were all hurt. We were all hurt, and we were all just yelling at each other for no reason.
The best part about it is Anthony coming in and trying to chime in, and we all just dismissed him
collectively. Go sit your ass down. Go sit down somewhere.
Go and sit like 60 games once.
It's your 300 winning percentage ball club. Go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, go find your collection of Reds fans and go complain about how everything about your team fucking stinks.
How
the Yankees are about to hit the panic button.
Well, maybe not. You see, Boone's coming back, so that already made my skin crawl. But
yay!
Then the reports today that I was waiting for, I knew that it wasn't going to just be the Yankees, Mets, and Red Sox. I knew those California teams were not going to be just sit back and, especially the Giants, because he's from the Bay Area. But I saw a report today saying that the Giants' mandate from the owner is he can sign somewhere else, but we will not be outbid.
Yeah, I heard
that is
too.
Scary season right there. That is scary season for Yankee fans. We will not be outbid. Oh,
that's tough.
Oh,
that's tough. And it's tough. My poor heart's not prepared for that.
Mine isn't, because it's not that the Yankees don't have the money, because the Yankees have the money. They don't want to spend the money. So,
yeah, I'm not prepared. So when Jeter retired, I went on hiatus until I could find the love of baseball again. Right. I went on a 2-3 year hiatus of baseball.
You did not miss anything.
I know. I didn't miss anything, but I came back right when Judge became a thing. And we cannot allow him to go because I may take another hiatus. And the only reason I took a hiatus is because, one, my favorite baseball player of all time just retired in captainly fashion.
Yeah,
a walk-off. It's the captain. But then it's like I knew the Yankees didn't have anything. And they weren't going to get anything because I knew the Yankees were changing. So I was like, I need to take a break from the Yankees. And if that happens where Judge is elsewhere and we're stuck with a bunch of idiots.
And Gleyber Torres is the best player on the team.
I will be gone for a while. I will 100% be boycotting the Yankees again. The only reason this Yankee loss isn't as like stingy to me is because the Jets are winning. That's the only reason I'm like. That's the only thing I'm good.
Not gonna lie, the Knicks playing well, the Giants and the Titans playing well, it helps. It helps. I mean, the day they got eliminated, every New York team won except the Yankees.
Except for them.
It was looking like it was going to be a great New York day, and then
yep, it was going to be a great New York day. But
Boone decided, oh, that's interesting. I knew that Nestor had a groin pull, but I'm gonna throw him out there anyway. His fastball seems about 4 or 5 miles an hour slower than it usually is. I'm just gonna leave him out there and see what happens. Boom. Oh.
Boone's problem with the bullpen and the rotations all playoff has been he's letting these guys stretch out just an inning too far. You know you got them good for an inning and a half, pull. Stop trying to squeeze out everything that's left. And the Yankees couldn't buy a hit. Josh Donaldson just watched everything go by him.
So I saw him get old before my eyes.
I don't know why they insisted on playing Giancarlo in the field to let Matt Carpenter hit, who literally struck out every single at-bat he ever had in the playoffs with us.
Except for two.
Like, I just don't understand the decision-making. Like, let's...
and, like, I'm not even mad at Matt Carpenter because I didn't even expect him to be on the roster.
Me either.
Like, kudos to you for grinding your way back, but you got to look yourself in the mirror and be like, I just don't... To put him in that situation is what's unfair.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
Oh, there weren't really many other options.
There weren't, especially when Hicks got hurt.
Once Hicks got hurt, it's like,
one
okay,
Hicks
cool.
got hurt, that broke the dam. That broke it.
Because then you'd be able to do it, but like, I still don't. I just really don't understand it. And not having LeMahieu and not having Benintendi didn't.
Not having LeMahieu hurt more than I thought it was going to hurt.
Because at least with LeMahieu, you could play him at third.
You can play
and
him
you
at
get
third,
the bat.
Second, you can. He's not going up there to hit a home run. He's going up there to get the guys that weren't going up there to get
Judge at bat.
The guys that were going up there just to get hits actually had good series. Bader was
everything I could have ever asked for.
He was on some other shit. Trevino actually played well. He was doing his job. I just need to get on, so just extend so Judge can come up. Just extend so Judge can get up. It was Glaber and Donaldson. Just oh my god! And even Ozzie had started to finally look like a rookie. Finally. I have no issues with Rizzo. I have none.
None. I would love for him to if you wanted to come back, come back.
None.
But why would you come back with this idiot running the show?
Giancarlo's average was bad, but he had decent at-bats, and he hit home runs. He did hit some. Like, it wasn't like he was just out there not doing shit. So it just sucks because
Judge having a terrible playoff run didn't help.
It hurt.
It didn't help, but it just shows that if Judge didn't produce all season, this team probably is the Reds.
It would have been rough. And also, I really think him not getting any kind of real pitching for the last 2 to 3 weeks of this 3 weeks of the season messed everything up. It just threw everything off. Because then when we got to the playoffs, they was trying to pitch to him again. And he ain't know well, are they pitching to me? Are they pitching around me? It's just.
Yeah, they picked a good time to challenge him. At least he didn't strike out for that last at bat. That's the one thing I was hoping for. I was like, if he strikes out right now, he's going to get booed out of that fucking place. Like, he was already getting booed.
He was starting to get booed by the end of the series, yeah.
He would have gotten kicked out of New York. And that's not what you do to a guy who you're trying to re-sign.
That was speaking out of anger, because we absolutely need to re-sign him, like, now.
Blank check. Take whatever you want. But I just hope Cashman and them don't fuck it up.
And it's weird because it leaves. I don't know how you feel. It left such a weird taste in my mouth, because I do feel like if LeMahieu was healthy, if Benintendi was healthy, like, I feel like
2 of our better contact hitters.
I feel like this could have been a whole different series. So it's like, they got swept. So it's like,
it's hard to say. They're clearly
not
the
on
team.
Astros level, but what would have happened if our guys was here, and what would have happened if Michael King didn't get hurt?
I hate that game so much. I hate the what if game so
because we're in the middle. We're really in the middle.
It's
like if
terrible.
we had all our bullets and they just swept us, then it's like, all right, we got to blow this shit up. But it's so many. What if Carpenter wasn't hurt?
It's 2021 or 2020 Brooklyn Nets. It's the what if. It's the what if, and it's fucking annoying. That's why I try not to play that game anymore. But can we stop playing New York when we lose?
Yeah, I really need them to find something to play. Like, I don't care what they play.
There's nothing worse. Like, it was such a troll job of them playing New York while the Astros are celebrating on the field.
Having a god all time.
Just because like New York.
There's nothing like hearing that song when you win. There's nothing I enjoy more than singing that song after
you lose.
Yeah. Like, there's got to be something that they can play. It's got to be something they can play. I don't care if Liza Minnelli chooses. We got more money than her. like
you can't play Frank. You can't play Frank when you lose.
It's got to go.
But at least the Jets won.
And that will take us right into our NFL recap, where once again, I mean, the guys aren't here, but this was the first time, I believe, in this show's history
all of our teams won.
That all of our teams.
No, does James count?
No, James doesn't.
Okay, James doesn't count. So yeah,
the Ravens won barely. The Giants won.
Jets win.
Jets won. Titans won. Raiders tried everything in their power to lose, but won.
Then closed out strong. The Raiders needed that. If the Raiders lost that game, it's blow it up. You have to blow it up. They'd be on Denver's case right now, where Denver is if Denver loses to Jacksonville on Sunday, they're trading everybody.
It's over.
Jerry Judy's trying to get out.
It's a tricky situation.
Bradley Chubb's trying to get out.
But they're paying Russ so much money, you can't blow it up. They're paying Russ too much to start over. So Denver's in a rough spot. Somebody needs to figure it out.
It's so weird because that team is good. And the crazy thing is, say what you want about the Jets beating Denver with Rippin in. Rippin played just as good as Russ has been playing throughout the whole season. So it's very hard to say the game would have gone otherwise, because all I've seen from Russell Wilson this year is not good football. Oh, Mike's frozen. Mike disconnected his Ethernet cable again. I'm going to take this time and I'm going to talk great things about the Jets, about how the Jets are 5-2 for the first time in a decade. It's a nice thing. Brees Hall tore his ACL, but that sucks. And my boy is hurt. He's down. I'm down bad because of Brees Hall. He was going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, hopefully, but he'll be back and better than ever. My guy, Sauce Gardner, Defensive Player of the Week. Defensive Player of the Week, not Rookie of the Week, not just Rookie of the Week, because he's probably going to win that tomorrow. Oh, Mike's back.
That was my fault.
You hit your Ethernet cord?
I hit the airplane mode button on my laptop.
I can't believe your laptop has an airplane mode button.
I can't either until just now.
I was giving a nice monologue about the Jets. We'll get back to it. We'll not get back to the monologue. We'll get back to where we were. But yeah, even say what you want about the Jets beating Brett Rypien, whatever the fuck his name is.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
He played as good football as Russell Wilson's been playing all year.
He played a decent game.
He was on par for what Russell Wilson would have done.
I will agree with that. I don't think he did anything different than Russ would have done in that game.
Exactly. So it's it's hard. It's so hard when you have the talent on that team and say what you want about Zach Wilson. Zach didn't play a good game at all. Zach was too busy running for his life most of the game, but he didn't make the mistakes.
I'm getting very close, Dylan, to being all set on Zach.
Well, no, here's the thing.
Close.
I'm close.
Being all set on him.
I'm close, but I have to let the cookie bake here, right? This is where we're not going to play a harder defense the rest of the year besides Buffalo.
But you got to play them twice.
I got to play them twice. So that means out of the 11 games left, I have to play a really good defense 2 more times.
And I mean, we don't know what Miami's.
We don't know what Miami's defense is going to be or what it is. I played them in week 18. We don't know what the situation is going to be.
We don't even know what that is.
We don't even know. That's too far away for us to even understand what that is. So, the everybody jumping, it's not even just everybody, the NFL media is trying to jump off of Zach Wilson already. I'm listen, nobody's jumping off Mac Jones. No. And Mac Jones has been objectively terrible.
This year, you
jumped off, terrible.
You jumped off the bandwagon early last year, but this year,
once I saw them win a game with him throwing the ball 3 times, that's all I needed to see.
That to be fair, the weather in that game was atrocious, and Josh Allen struggled in that game.
But he was not going to say.
I mean, they lost.
Here's the thing, but he was able to complete passes and play well, decent as the weather contest.
They played okay,
but. It's arm power and arm strength. And this is my biggest problem with Mac is he doesn't have arm strength. At least his balls were sailing. The wind would take those balls completely. Or at least Allen would be able to get some balls to his guys. Mac couldn't. He legitimately couldn't. And his defense did exactly what it's supposed to do. You play defense and you hand the ball off. That's all I needed to see. And then we saw them again in the playoffs with less than perfect weather. And he was terrible. He was terrible.
Got obliterated. But then, like I said, Buffalo has a good defense. Like I feel like I'm defending Mac Jones, and I don't think he's a great quarterback, or he's borderline good right now. I don't know. But there are some things you could say. Like Buffalo is a great.
Buffalo's great. Buffalo is great.
And you're playing them on the road at night in their first. Well, that was their first night playoff game, right?
Yeah.
Like that was like that's rough.
But then
that's
rough. But then we go into this year.
He has not been good this year. He has
not. But again, when I say it, I'm a hater. According to Anthony, he's
well.
I do be hating.
But he has not been good this year.
But he has not been good.
He has not been good.
And if we're gonna jump off the Zach Wilson bandwagon, I want the same type of look for the other quarterbacks that came in that draft.
Like I said, I didn't say I'm off Zach.
No, I'm not saying you in particular.
I'm close. I'm close, but I'm still considering.
I'm also only
close. Game 3, game 2.
This is game 3 of his.
3? So I'm not going to be like, oh, he sucks. That's it. Like, no.
Because what I saw at the end of last season was like, okay, he could put it together. What I saw in the second half of that Steelers game, I was like, all right, if Zach has time, Zach could do some damage.
And haven't seen that guy since.
But the problem is, you want to hear some great stats. When Zach has a clean pocket, he has a 70% completion percentage as a touchdown and a QBR of 114. When Zach is pressured, he's terrible.
So you either build the line,
but the problem is the line's hurt. We did all this time in the offseason building the line. We have 6 offensive linemen who are hurt.
But I can't pay you $30 million.
No, I 100% agree with you.
And you can only play good when it's clean.
That's why it's like when Roz said, when do you take the cookie out? That's why I say you have to take the cookie out at the end of the season. What Zach is at the end of the season is what Zach will be in year 3. And then you have to get to, all right, after year 3, you have to pick up your 5th-year option. Are you going to pick up that 5th-year option?
Because y'all are literally going to be in the same situation that the Giants are in right now.
Yeah. And you cannot pay a quarterback off of 1 year.
And Daniel Jones is being as frustrating as he could be because he's playing just good enough to where it's like,
I'm telling you right now, if the Giants pay Daniel Jones, that is a stupid decision to make.
I wouldn't give him $40 million. I wouldn't give him 30. To be honest with you, I wouldn't give him 30 right now.
The problem is, they didn't pick up his 5th year, right? No, so they have to franchise tag him. And the franchise tag is $32 million.
It's $30 million. That's what I'm saying. They franchise him, it's $30 million. But the problem is they also have to pay Saquon. And they have to pay Saquon.
And their cap is not great.
It's clear as day. They have to pay Saquon.
They better hope Saquon stays healthy.
Saquon's going to be cheaper than Daniel Jones, but
not by much.
I mean,
by maybe 12 mil.
But I mean, there's a big difference between 12, 15 million and 30, 32, 33.
Well, no, Saquon will get close to 20.
I wouldn't pay Saquon 20.
I'm telling you, that's what he's going to reset the running back market. And the last big running back to get a contract got 16?
I wouldn't pay Saquon 20. 15.
That's what you have to think of. But then it's like, if Saquon doesn't play football for your team,
the Giants are awful. They're putrid. He's got them right where he wants them because they were putrid last year.
And that just shows how good of a athlete Saquon is. Whereas the Jets lose Breece Hall. We replace him with James Robinson, and you know James Robinson. James Robinson's a good running back. He's a very good. James Robinson will be fine, and the Jets will be fine.
He might not have those big explosive. He won't
be the
plays,
burst that Breece is, but
he will get them yards. He's going to get them yards. He's going to get them first downs.
Yes,
he will get them first downs, and he will control the clock. So
it's like we're going to be fine because we're going to rotate Michael Carter, and we're going to rotate.
I don't want to hear the Jets complaining about Breece. I don't want to hear it.
I mean, we're going to complain about Breece because Breece is clearly the guy. There was not any tape that you could show me otherwise of Breece not being the guy. That would have been awesome to have him, but it is what it is. You got to move on. I have confidence in the running back room and in Mike LaFleur's scheming of the Shanahan offense to work because guess what? The San Francisco running backs always do well because whether you're a first string or a fourth string running back, because the running backs in San Fran always get hurt.
That's why them getting McCaffrey is so scary because
Well, before you continue, a team that always has hurt running backs getting running back that's always hurt is kind of
It's
like
it's funny. It's funny. The irony there, yeah, that's funny. If he stays healthy,
problem. You just need Jimmy G to average his way to another playoff.
I unlike most, think he can do that. I don't
Yeah.
think Jimmy's a bum like everyone seems to think.
I think Jimmy is gonna game manage his way to a playoff run, and the way that division is looking,
might get him a division title.
he might get a division title.
Although I don't know how much longer we're gonna have to do this, Dylan, before we start taking Geno Smith and the Seahawks serious.
Oh, when he plays a real team,
like we're a quarter of the season in.
I mean, he's playing the Giants this week.
But I'm expecting Seattle to win that game because it is very hard. It's very hard to go from New York to Seattle and play.
I think one of
that building.
One of these teams is going to be real. One of these teams is going to be real, and
one of those teams is going to go to the playoffs, and it'll probably be the Giants.
The way Seattle,
Giants got an easy schedule.
The Giants and the Jets are on a run right
Giants
now, right?
got it. And the Giants' schedule is easier than the Jets' schedule.
I know, and the Jets' schedule is fucking easy.
Like I did win, loss with the Giants. I had them coming out 10-6, 10-7, excuse me.
But if I do that with the Jets, I'm wrong.
You're gonna give them games that we can do it. We can pull the schedule.
Here's the thing. All I'm saying is I'm giving the Jets 4 games in the second half.
That would give y'all 9.
If we win on Sunday, that would give us 10.
See, I don't know. Just hearing that number, I'm just
but like when you look at the schedule and I say 4 games, you're gonna look at the 4 games that I'm saying. You're like, you know what? You're probably right, and that's Chicago. Say what you want about Chicago and beating New England. That Chicago team is bad, and they just traded their second best defensive player.
Yeah, I didn't understand that trade. I really did.
They're cleaning house. They're getting rid of the big money guys that are on there. Roquan's going to be gone soon, too. I'm hoping Joe Douglas decides to make a phone call there. But he wouldn't see the field with Quan, CJ. Like, somebody's not seeing the field. Roquan would have to see the field, but somebody's not going to.
That's why the Jets aren't going to trade him. That's too much.
No, they're going to try to see if he hits free agency.
Yeah, it's too much money to him potentially be like a rotational. Nah.
Because you can't just come into a team week 7, week 8, and just play.
But by week 10, he's going to be not only is he going to be ready to play, he's going to want to play, and he's going to want to play every down. So now one of your established guys has to sit, and now
it's a good move to like make with CJ Mosley being a free agent. It wouldn't. Well, the thing is, my linebackers are vets, so there really wouldn't be like drama.
But I don't see CJ liking that.
I don't think CJ would care because CJ knows this is his last year.
I would say, but that's who's going to get the short end of the stick.
No, Quincy Williams will. Yeah, and you know that. It's Quincy. You would have a linebacker core of Roquan, CJ, and Quan. Roquan, Quan, and CJ. And that's a good linebacker room.
I would much rather him be on that line, though.
What, Quincy?
No, Roquan.
I'd rather have Roquan rushing side to side. You can't put him on that line. You need him to be out there just attacking the run because the Jets' defensive line already rotates and is already very good. But away from the Jets. I'm not going to gas the Jets anymore. But the Seahawks are strong where the Giants are weak. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my guy, Mike Jackson. Corner in the Seahawks, you guy. He's been great. He's been somebody who's been terrible since he's been in the NFL. He's been in like 3 different teams, and he's been fucking awful. And he goes to the Seahawks team, and he's playing really, really well. Tariq Woolen on the other side, too. 6'4", 4'4".
Defensive Rookie of the Year, Tariq.
Yeah, let's see him win a Defensive Player of the Week first.
You want to hold that for the rest of the season.
But that matters because that's not the fans voting. That's not the fans voting. So that one means a little more, where the Jets fans just ruined the weekly Rookie of the Week voting every week to just give the Jet players it. Granted, the Jet players are playing well. Like Sauce Gardner had, 10 tackles and 3 PBUs on a good wide receiving core? That's good. That's very good. Mike.
I'll give him a good receiver core, I guess.
Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and fucking KJ Hamler's not a good receiving core.
They don't have a quarterback, but yeah.
But they wouldn't have a quarterback if the number one quarterback was
they're
there.
Good. They're good. They're good.
And I don't want to hear nothing about that last ball being not a good ball to Cortland Sutton either. That was a good ball to Cortland Sutton. It's just Sauce is holding the fuck out of him.
Yes, I was waiting to see if he was going to say it because
to be fair, so
I
understand what
you called holding. That looks like fucking pass interference to me.
Well, but the thing is, they are fighting all game, and they didn't call it once. So don't call it. That's the consistency that you want, because there was a play in the first quarter where Ripien threw a ball in the end zone to Cortland Sutton, and Sauce would have had an interception if Cortland didn't hook his arm. So it goes both ways.
That's tough to lose a game that way, though. It's tough to lose a game that way.
But you can't get mad at officiating if they were calling it even the whole time.
I'm just saying it's tough to lose a game that way. I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
Because
it's
even
tough to lose a game that way.
I've fallen on the end of that stick plenty of times. But the one thing I will always say is I can't be mad at officials who are letting that type of physical play go.
If you're not calling,
if you're not calling it, you can't call it there. And he made a great play. He made a couple great plays all game. He allowed 13 yards to any receiver that was on him all game.
Yeah, he had a good game. Like I don't want to make it seem like I don't think Sauce is good.
No, you're just trying to have me temper my expectations.
Yes, he's very good.
But he's exceeded my expectations, and that's crazy.
He's exceeded mine too, because
I knew he was going to be good.
Y'all were going crazy draft night, and I was like, all right, relax. Like, it's okay. He's just a good corner. No, he is. What are y'all? 5 games? 5 games in. He is undeniably CB1.
He's 7 games in, and he's
undeniably CB1, and he's undeniably probably top 10 in the league, top 15, top 10 in the league.
Well, if you look at numbers, he's top 10
already. And
Doug Peterson's trying to put him top 5. And I'm like, I don't want to say that yet, but the season he's having is great.
He's having a
great the thing that people are not noticing.
You got to do that a few times before you get put into that room. He's having a great year.
7 weeks, and the people that are on his resume, those are good receivers on his resume. Those are really good receivers on his resume. That's why it's hard. Like, Tariq Woolen's got 4 picks, and he's tied for the league lead.
That kid's having a good year.
He's having a great season.
And the problem
he doesn't have the resume.
He's up there in Neverland, so nobody knows.
The Seahawks fans know.
But we'll know when they play the Rams. We'll know then.
And like his good receivers are coming.
Yeah,
because he dodged DeAndre Hopkins, and
but he's gonna have to see him. He's gonna
have to see him. He's gonna have to see Cooper. He's gonna have to see that back half of that schedule is for Seattle.
The Seahawks are gonna come back to earth.
They will, but they're gonna be in games. The Seahawks are gonna be what we thought the Lions were.
Yeah, the Seahawks are exactly what I thought the Lions were gonna be.
This is what happened last year, because I was on my Facebook memories last year, and I said this Bengals team is exactly what this Browns team was supposed to be. And when the Bengals were going on their wild run of just winning football games and beating the Ravens and all these teams, I was like, yeah, the Browns were supposed to be that. The Seahawks are turning into, like, they were supposed to be the Lions.
The Browns are a very weird frustration. I feel so bad. I don't know if I seem to keep catching the Browns games.
At the worst time?
Jacoby Brissett is really balling out here. Like,
solid.
He is really trying, and it seems like he's just falling short. Like, something weird or random just keeps seeming to happen to him, and I feel bad because I thought they scapegoated him in Indy. I didn't think he played. I mean, he didn't play great, but they made it seem like, the whole team sucks because Jacoby. Like,
well, Brissett's not good enough to win you games. That's my problem. I've seen him win games, but I don't think that's a thing I can expect out of him as a starting quarterback.
I would put him, like, if we were equating it to pitching, he would be like a 3.
Yes,
he'd be like a 3, a 2.
He's a top tier backup.
Day, a 3.
He's a top tier backup quarterback.
He'll go out there, he'll get you wins.
He'll win you.
You don't want to put him in that pressure situation, but he'll go get you a win, and he'll surprise you and get you a big game.
He'll play within the system. He'll take what the defenses gives him, because that's exactly what he did against us. And when Roz is sitting, he's like, he's got a perfect QBR. He's doing this. I'm like, he's literally just taking what the defense is giving him.
He's not going to take a risk. He's not
reinventing the wheel.
You're not going to force him into a mistake.
And the one time they needed him to do something is when he fucked up.
But to his point, to like I said last week, that was not his fault that they lost that game. Fucking God, the Browns are just.
Browns are bad.
It makes me so intrigued because
they have tons of talent on that team.
Tons of talent,
but they don't have any wide receivers.
They don't. They have none. What is going to happen when Deshaun Watson comes? Like, we're at that point where the clock is starting to tick now. Like, he's coming.
Anthony thinks Deshaun Watson's going to come in there and be great.
I don't.
And I'm like, I think that's a lot to ask for a guy who hasn't played football in 2 years and who's literally not allowed in the facility.
Yeah, like even that, like he can't even. I mean, I'm sure
I'm sure he's texting his guys and
I'm sure the Browns are sending unofficial people.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't work for the team.
But like, I don't expect greatness out of Deshaun Watson yet. I don't like.
I would say next year would be
I think you'll
halfway through the year next year. Something's going to click, and then we're going to be like, oh, shit, I forgot how good he was.
I think you'll see Amari Cooper's numbers go up more because he'll get more targets because Deshaun Watson will be confident enough to make some of those throws. But I wouldn't be shocked if Deshaun Watson threw like 4 interceptions in the first 2 games.
He's going to throw picks left and right because he's going to have to readjust to that speed. Who I think is going to benefit, I can't pronounce it,
Njoku.
Excuse me.
Another you guy.
But I think, is going to benefit this year because he's going to be the check down. He's going to be the safety net. So I think he has potential when Watson comes back to.
But ultimately, all you have to do is just run the fucking football, man.
Guys just want to throw. It's amazing
run the football.
Who run the ball. There's a team down in Tennessee that just runs the ball and they just keep seeming to win. Just ugly, but they just keep on.
When you don't trust your quarterback, just hand the football. Like you have a good offense. Like they have one of the best offensive lines in football. Just run the football. Like Jacksonville, when they handed the ball off to James Robinson 14 times or more, they are undefeated.
If you look at the Cowboys' record when they would give Zeke the ball 20 or more times, they have a phenomenal record.
But Mike McCarthy doesn't like to run the football.
It's not hard.
Like the Cowboys literally go to the playoffs because they run the football. Remember when they were like, if they beat Aaron Rodgers, they're like going to the Super Bowl?
When was the one
with
time
Dak's first year?
When he won the Super Bowl with the Packers. The Packers had a good defense and a running game. Like,
you don't need to reinvent the wheel, and everybody's reinventing the wheel. Because the Chiefs did it. The Chiefs reinvented the wheel. Because they set up
Andy Reid.
They set up the run by passing. You set up the pass by running. Like the Chiefs do it backwards, and the Bills are doing exactly what the Chiefs are doing.
The Chiefs are the Warriors.
Yeah,
the Chiefs are the Warriors,
and the Bills are the Rockets.
Oh, you gonna put that on them?
We'll see. Right now, that's what they are. They're a copycat team.
If the Chiefs go into Buffalo and beat them, though, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt.
I'm not saying that in a bad way. I really like the Bills. I
want the Bills too.
I want the Bills to lose because then I could say the Jets are in first place in the AFC East and I could shut Mike up.
You would love that. You would love that. My worst fear is the Jets beating the Bills the first time y'all play. Because I might not even show up. I'm not even putting that into the world. I'm penciling that as an L so I can have no expectations, even though I expect that game to be played better. But who has the first home game? Them or
we do?
I really am not going to show up.
I'm not gonna put this into the world because I'm being realistic here because I'm the only fan of this team who's incredibly realistic about the team's expectations. Because Roz went into being oh my god, we're going to the AFC Championship game to now we're going to win 7 games.
I know Roz after Breezy got hurt. Well, that's it for the season.
We'll win 2 more games.
We'll win 1 game for the rest of the year.
And I'm just saying, I'm like, what are we doing here?
Oh,
this just shows that he just loves Brian Daboll so much that he gives Salah. I was so surprised when he gave Ulbrich and Salah credit for calling that game the way they did. They called a great game. But and I'm like, holy shit. It's a backhanded compliment.
It was because it's classic Ross because he surely came and gave Dabs another compliment right after it.
And then he got mad because I said Daboll was his boyfriend.
Oh,
I tried kicking Ross out of the fan base on Sunday. I tried. I said go root for the Giants.
As much as we love Roz versus the Orioles, I really enjoy Roz and Dabble so much more. It's
It's
so much
Roz
more.
versus the Jets.
It's so much
It's
more
the
fun.
worst. Roz wants us to be the same old Jets so bad, so he has something to complain about.
So he can have something to complain about. And I mean, we ain't got to worry about it because the Lakers are giving him everything he needs right now. What's the score in that game, by the way?
66-60 right now. Denver's up.
Yeah, it's a matter of time. The Lakers.
Roz loves to complain. Loves to complain. He's not happy unless he's miserable.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I don't. It's only 4 games in, but I'm already getting
7.
sick and tired
Okay.
for basketball.
Okay.
Oh, marketing. I don't understand what's happening in Utah right now, but
they're doing the tanking thing wrong. They're doing the tanking thing wrong.
We're gonna get into this when James pops back in here.
Eventually.
He's taking the longest walk ever. But man, I like what's going on in Utah. I don't know how they're doing. Well, I do know because marketing is really good.
And so is Colin Sexton.
And yes, and I think people forgot that.
Colin Sexton is a dog.
He's a dog. And that is scary. Especially when they're in Utah and they're isolated and they're just in that little bubble. There's nowhere to go.
Filled with Mormons.
I despise that franchise, but let me tell you, they support that team. That there is a genuine fever and support for that. If you play for Utah, you are one of them.
They love you.
They love you. So that's a scary. I don't want to say scary yet because I still don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
But yes, back to the Jets and the Bills. Mike, if the Jets beat the Bills, I need to know what's the expectation then?
What week is that game?
Next week. Not the Patriots, the week after.
The week after the Patriots?
And then
y'all potentially could beat the Patriots and the Bills and then go into a bye. And I'd have to listen to you for 2 weeks.
If the Jets go 7-2 going into the bye, what do you tell me? Like, how do you talk to me?
I can't. I absolutely cannot. Absolutely. But at that point, you're going to have to come in here and start using that P word because I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear that. Oh, we're just doing. This is fun. There's expectations on the team now. There's expectations now.
I was telling this to Janice because Janice was asking about the stuff because I work every Monday. They talk about stuff and. She brought the Jets win, so she's over here like getting a little bit more invested and stuff.
Slightly.
And I'm sitting here, I was telling her, I'm like, listen. She was like, well, the Jets aren't good, are they? I was like, they're playing above above what they are right now. Playing above their head right now, and the team is so young and stupid that they don't know it. So, and that's like the best thing that can happen. It's the best mixture of things you could ask for. A young, talented team. Just figuring it out. Going into places they're not supposed to win. And talking that shit, winning, and moving on. They've exercised a bunch of demons, which is great because the Jets haven't beat the Packers since like 2003. The Jets go into Mile High all the time and just get that ass fucking whooped. If they go in and beat the Patriots on Sunday, you just snapped a 12-game losing streak.
Which is, I didn't even realize it was that long.
The last time we won was Ryan Fitzpatrick, Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker.
Like, I would have thought y'all would have split at least once.
No.
But, yeah.
There's some demons that need to get exercised, and this team is stupid enough to do it. And, like, I say the stupid word as, like, not an insult, as, like, they're just naive. They're ignorant to what the world is. They're ignorant to what the Jets are. And I was telling Genius, I was like, if the Jets keep winning games, like there's going to come a point where people need to stop saying that this is the same old Jets, and there actually has to be expectations. Like people need to like.
That's what I'm saying. Like if y'all do this, I'm going to need that.
Even 6-3, even if we go 6-3 before the bye, because again, I'm penciling in that Buffalo win because I don't think we're there yet. But if it turned out that we played them within a 10-point game, I'd be I'd be happy with that. Mm-hmm. But like, if we go and we beat New England, and we go into the bye with 6 wins, I'm at what I thought we were going to be at before the season started. I'm playing with house money.
So New England is y'all bitter rival. Well, Miami's
our real bitter rival, but like this is to me the most important game of the year.
But my question is, have we reached that level with the rivalry with the Patriots where y'all could lose to them and then beat Buffalo and you wouldn't care?
No, I would never not care because like my whole lifetime the Dolphins have sucked. So like the Jets Dolphins rivalry really isn't big to me. I just hate them because I'm supposed to. When in all actuality they have never been a threat in my life.
It's the Patriots.
The Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since 2000.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So the Dolphins really haven't been good. It's been the Patriots. Every time the Jets have been good, it's the Patriots. But they've never won.
They don't win. Yeah,
the Jets have more playoff wins in the last 22 years than the Dolphins do. The Jets have more playoff wins in the last 11 years than the Dolphins do. The Jets have more playoff wins in the last 15 years than the Dolphins do, like and so on and so forth. And the Raiders. And then if you want to go even further back, you go to 1998 too. The Jets have more playoff wins since 1998 than the Dolphins do. You could probably go back a little bit farther as well, because Dan Marino like always lost. So,
but he was getting this divisional and conference championship game. So he was getting his couple in.
Even still, if you take a look at what the Jets have done versus Dolphins, it really hasn't been a rivalry. The rivalry has been the Patriots because every time the Jets are good, the Patriots are there to just big brother us. And this is the time where it's like, hey, let's exercise that demon. Let's punch Bill in the mouth. And let's prove Dylan right about this Patriots team.
This game is a big game for you. I mean, it's a big game for the Jets.
It's a massive game because it's the big stealth black debut of the black helmets and everything. Like this is, you don't really get much bigger than that. On top of it being a Patriot game, Jets Patriots. On top of it being Dylan's been talking shit about the Patriots all year, and it seems like he's right, and nothing would prove Dylan more right than if the Jets walk in there and punch Bill in the mouth.
And the Jets have made this their de facto homecoming game, so.
That's exactly what I was comparing it to. This is fucking homecoming. This is West Haven High Notre Dame. This is Alabama Auburn. This is fucking the Red River, the Red River shootout.
Rivalry.
Yeah, the Red River shootout, fucking Texas and Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Like, this is USC Oregon, or USC UCLA. This is fucking Wisconsin, fucking Michigan, like this Michigan State, Michigan, like
Michigan, Ohio State,
Like you pick your.
Well, either
way,
Michigan, Ohio State, that's in rare air. That's different air up there. Michigan, Ohio State, Yankees, Red Sox,
Duke, it's not
North
there.
Carolina.
But this is
that room over there.
Yes, this isn't Bears Packers.
Packers is in that room.
No, this is. Not Celtics Lakers.
Lakers is in that room.
Celtics Sixers.
Yeah. This
is New York Celtics. Miami.
Knicks Heat. Yeah, Knicks Heat is in that lower tier. Knicks Bulls for a while was
Pacers Bulls.
Close. So yeah,
Pacers,
it's a big
Bulls.
game.
This is a big game for us. This is a very important game. That's why this is despite all the games, we could lose this game, still potentially make the playoffs, which is again already out of the stratosphere for me. You don't want to see playoff football, Dylan. I'm a wreck. But like we could still lose this game and go in and still make the playoffs, but this is the most important game of the season because if the Jets go in on this game and beat this team, this young team has so much juice, and you're going to have Saleh screaming every chance he gets.
That stadium's going to be alive.
There's nothing like MetLife when like the Jets are winning. Like that stadium is so rough to be in.
Yeah, it was very loud when I went there last year. It was loud.
It's rough. It's rough to be in because the Jets fans are nuts.
It was loud. It was not that loud until the end when the Jets won, when all hell broke loose when the Jets won. I will give you that. When the Jets won on that missed field goal, I didn't know what was going on.
When it's a close game like that, no, but if there's a momentum shift and that crowd has people in it like it usually does, win or lose.
The stadium was full.
Momentum is massive in MetLife. So it's like we need to do that because I had to hear Roz talk about how Robert Saleh might be closer to Adam Gase than Rex Ryan.
Roz is
For
not.
4 weeks.
No. No, not Dame walking. Oh no. Dame might have got hurt tonight.
Oh boy.
Oh no. They were such a good story. Well, hopefully it's just something light. But yes.
But yeah, I had to listen to Roz give me
Saleh.
every piece of shit like thing he could say about Robert Saleh. The whole time I'm just like, I really like Saleh.
I love the fact that Roz hates Saleh because there's nothing to hate about Saleh, and I just don't get why he hates that man so.
He calls him a grifter.
That man so much. I just don't know why he hates that man.
I'm like, he's a leader of men. Guys want to run through a brick wall for him.
Mm-hmm.
I run stairs every Sunday morning in solitude with Robert Saleh. I actually do that because I believe in what he's doing. I genuinely believe in what him and Joe Douglas are doing.
And how can you not right now?
That James Robinson trade proved it to me. I was like, oh, instead of like trying to just like run it with what we have and like hope for the best, he's like, no, we're going to keep this going.
They didn't waste time. They went right to work.
I didn't think they were actually going to get him. I thought they were going to go for the San Fran guys that are going to lose playing time. I didn't think they would go after James Robinson. Like my two like pie in the sky guys were Kareem Hunt and James Robinson.
Yeah, I thought Kareem Hunt was more realistic.
Yeah, I think Kareem Hunt's going to Philly.
I don't think they need him though. Everybody keeps saying that. Miles Sanders is really good.
But imagine if you had a 1-2 punch.
But they
do the two running backs that can move.
They do the same thing.
But
that's my problem. They do the same.
They do the same thing, but Kareem Hunt also brings an element of power that Sanders doesn't.
A little bit more, but he's not.
Do you know who Philly is trying to trade with right now?
Who?
New Orleans. They want Kamara.
Now, I would trade Miles Sanders for Kamara. Y'all can have him.
Once they, because Philly was trying to get McCaffrey.
Which I didn't think that fit for the same reasons I just laid out. Although he's
a better Miles Sanders.
He's a better version of Miles Sanders. But me personally, don't think you need two of those on your team. That's why I think the Cowboys work, because Zeke and Pollard are two different kind of running backs.
That's why Breece Hall and Michael Carter work, because they're two different running backs.
Different type of running, exactly.
If you give me Kareem Hunt and Miles Sanders.
That's why Kareem Hunt and Chubb work so well. Two different type of running backs.
But Kareem Hunt can also be that power back.
A little bit.
I think if you run an offense where you could have Miles Sanders in the backfield and Kareem Hunt running in motion out of the slot,
that's scary season. Because your linebackers are looking at each other like, "Who you guarding? I'm not guarding them fool. I'm not guarding him."
Philly's already like them getting Robert Quinn was already like, okay, they're in.
You saw what I said. You saw what I said in the chat. I was like, all right, Philly's clearly trying to.
They're in. They know this is it.
They're going for it. They're going for it, and I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them.
Go ahead, Philly.
You know how I feel about Jalen Hurts. Go for it.
Jalen Hurts has shut me up.
Go for it.
Still questionable sometimes, but he shut me up.
My man is MVP right now.
MVP discussion.
Who? What? Josh Allen?
Yeah,
that's the only person I would accept that you could say.
And the potential of Pat, because you have to. You have to.
He's in the conversation, but I wouldn't pick him over Jalen Hurts right now.
Not right now, but give me like 5 weeks. We're probably talking something completely different. Right now, it's Hurts and Allen.
Hurts, yeah. And Allen. And like I said, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to put Stephon Diggs in that conversation, because
I don't know if you can. You can't put a wide receiver in that
receivers never win. They never
can't put him there, though.
But that team is just not the same when he doesn't play well. And
he's not.
Played well every single, he's having he's cooking elite corners. He's cooking.
That's my litmus test for Sauce, right?
I wouldn't see it. And the funny thing, Sauce has more to gain to me in that game
than Diggs does.
Because if Diggs cooks him,
you're supposed to.
He's a rookie. He's supposed to do that. But I don't even know the way Diggs is playing. What is just holding him to not scoring, just holding him to a few.
I think you have to hold it to in order for it to be a shutdown. I think you have to hold it to like the Revis standard of like, hey, these guys were held under 30.
Because like everybody makes a big deal about the Miami game, he still had a really good game against Miami.
But like even still, like since Sauce is a rookie, I would give 50 yards to Diggs. If you could hold him to 50.
And what, 5 catches?
And like under 6 catches.
If he did that, if he did that and no touchdowns, I'd be like, okay.
I'd be like, okay, no, the kid, like, give him everything. Give him everything right now. Give him his Revis contract right now. So we can avoid the potential of Revis in year 2 of a contract renegotiating for next 6.
Yeah, Revis was on
madman, smartest football player I've ever seen.
That was wild.
You want to talk about like 2 guys who are really good negotiating the contracts at that position are Revis and Sherman. Sherman going into San Fran and pretty much saying, "Hey, I'll take this base, and then if I do this, you have to give me above like the percentage of the highest like 3% of quarterbacks."
He bet on himself, and he went out there and he did it.
He took a $7 million base contract and turned it to like 16 mil. And then Revis just like, hey, I'm not going to show up. I know I have 2 years left of my contract, but let's negotiate the next 4. Smart businessman, man.
Smart. And the Jets got what they deserved because I'd have told him to get out.
But like when they did it, the Jets got the best corner that they could have gotten.
But it wasn't a good deal for the Jets. I mean, they got the years out of him. But
if he didn't pop his hammy and get hurt, then it's like, all right, then we could talk differently. But Revis is one of those players where if he goes down, the rest of the team is terrible. Because like it or not, I don't know how any other like Jet fan feels. Like that defense really wasn't good. That defense blitzed heavy and had Cromartie and Revis.
Cromartie was underrated.
Very underrated.
Helped Revis. I'm not saying he was on Revis's level, but I'm saying he was
having a really good number 2 on that opposite side.
Borderline 1 on some teams, as he was on.
He would have been a 1. Yeah, he would have been a 1 anywhere else.
Having them 2 let Rex just go out and do all kinds of shit.
Everybody.
All kinds of
everybody.
Shit. And like it's the same thing with running on defense. If you have 2 of those corners, it opens at you can wreak havoc.
And what was crazy about this current Jets team, you have 2 of those corners and they don't blitz.
They don't.
They don't blitz.
Solid doesn't like to blitz though. He didn't.
The problem is they blitzed a ton at the first 3 games. They tried blitzing a lot, and they kept on fucking up coverages. That's when the safeties were fucking up. Whenever me and Roz talk about Whitehead and fucking Joyner fucking up, it's off of blitzes. Mm-hmm. They just don't know where they need to go. So I was like, why are we blitzing? Like, Quinnen Williams is getting there. Quinnen Williams is like, he's a top 5 defensive tackle in football.
But he's not being used correctly.
But now he's getting his snap count is my biggest thing, and he's getting it more and more now.
Ramping up. So maybe them ramping up tells me, Dylan, maybe he really wasn't in shape. Maybe he really was not in shape.
But I don't get that. The thing is, because he's on the sideline screaming. Like screaming at their coach, like, stop blitzing. Let us work.
You can want all you want, but the body and the tape don't lie. You out there doing stuff that you don't normally do because you're tired. We can see it.
Hey man, if they got it figured out, that's fine. I was just really didn't understand why rotating him out was the thing, especially on important downs. But now it's like it works. So hopefully we get this win.
Before we move on to talk about the 2 elder statesmen in the league and their issues, let me just once again, as I do every week, don't rah rah rah. Titans win. That's all I need to say. Titans win.
Titans win.
First place. Nice, good defensive victory for the Titans.
Titans win. Titans are still 19 right now. But that's because...
What does 19 mean, Dylan?
It means that there's 15 other teams who haven't had a bye week, and those numbers will fluctuate.
19 means you pay me my money. That's what 19
Did the season end today?
Not yet.
I told you what the numbers were.
19
I
is
told you what the
all
numbers were.
I'm shooting for. And I told you that I want some respect put on my team's name because
I have not disrespected your team. I've disrespected your defense.
We are a top 5 rushing defense.
Yes.
Top 5.
Yes.
I told you at the beginning of the year that our corners are trash. I said
your corners and your
corners are trash.
Jeffrey Simmons is that guy.
I told you that also.
He is that guy. I told you that. The problem is, I just don't get, like, so far you've played your division, really, and then a couple other teams. The teams that beat you attacked the thing you guys were bad at.
I mean, we lost to Buffalo.
Buffalo destroyed everything about you.
Buffalo made us look like we don't deserve to be in that upper room. But the Giants, I mean, we were winning that whole game, but Saquon is playing like Saquon. And he had a superstar day. Like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Saquon had a superstar day. And unfortunately, and for us to be as good as we are against the rush, and for Saquon to do that to us,
Saquon also did it passing too.
Saquon beat us. He beat us by himself. And like, it sucks. I'm mad because, like I said, we still could have won that game and should be 5-1 right now. But I mean, I can't get when a great player beats you. You can't. It's hard.
Can't do anything. Yes.
Yeah, it's hard. So like I said, hey, Buffalo ran us off the fucking field. Like, I don't even know if I even want to see them again. Like,
you don't, because right now, if you guys win your division, you're facing Buffalo or Kansas City
in the second round. In the second
first. Round. One of them will, yes, in the second round.
Both gonna win their division. We'll see. And it'll probably be Buffalo. Well, no, because
neither one of those teams you want to face.
The AFC West, we might have more wins than whoever survives that division. Well, no, that'll be the Chiefs.
That'll be the Chiefs.
So,
and you won't.
The Central, well, the Ravens are what, 4-2?
You guys will have a better record than you guys. Right now, if the season ended right now,
we were playing the Dolphins, I believe.
Yeah, and we'd be playing the Ravens.
Because when we posted that, sign me up for those playoffs. That would have been a great playoff.
Those are great playoffs.
That would have been a great playoff.
I would love to see this Jets team play the Ravens again.
Again in Baltimore. Sign me up. Oh,
that's gonna be that's gonna be like a punch you in the mouth, fucking figure it out game.
And that's a game where it's like, all right, Lamar. Now I've been defending you for all these years. I need you to go beat that Jets defense. I need you to go beat them.
Cause
so yeah, and seeing Tua against God, that would have been a long day because I don't know what we would have did against them two monsters they got back there.
You want to know what's crazy? So before you continue, Anthony dropped Tua in fantasy. I picked Tua up. Tua's facing the worst pass defense I've ever seen in my life in Detroit this week. And I have Jalen Waddle.
Speaking of which, do you want to, since we're here, I don't know where James is, but you want to go to, I was going to talk about Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
No, let's talk about that before we get to fantasy. Let's continue going on our thing before we get into the fantasy focus, because that's going to be a conversation in itself. So my thing is, so we got to the potential playoff
Titans,
scenaриos.
Yes.
Titans win. You guys have a fucking murderer's row of stretches.
Not that bad. I looked at it today. It's not that bad. We have to play the Chiefs we play the Texans this week. Then we play the Chiefs. We'll probably lose that game, but we play the Chiefs tough.
The Broncos the Broncos could be one of those games where I don't know. I don't know because their defense is so good.
Yes, but right now their offense is in flux. So, I got to figure we can get.
You better hope this Broncos team loses.
It's very similar to the Jets Broncos. Like,
yeah,
we should win the game, but could we lose? Yeah, we could.
The best thing that could happen if the Broncos win in Jacksonville, that's terrible. I mean, against Jacksonville this Sunday, that's terrible because that means they could have figured something out, maybe. But then they also have the layover from England, and those teams always lose. So never mind. You guys are winning that game. Who knows what Packers you're going to get?
Who knows what Packers we're going to get, but their offense seems suspect also.
But that's a good game for them to play because your corners stink.
Our corners, that could be a wake-up game for them.
That's where it's like, okay. And I'm looking at this purely from a, not even just like a offensive standpoint, like you guys, especially when I'm looking more from a defensive standpoint. Bring us to your mommy. Why are you here? Why are these kids here?
Taking over.
Jesus.
Taking over. Mila's taking everything from in front of you. Jalen is
Jaden, oh my God. I'm looking at this purely defensively, and how this could affect your ranking against these offenses that are coming in. Because again, once everybody has their bye weeks, you guys are going to average back out to about 23. Once everybody fixes themselves. No, I'm just saying, that's not me hating either. That's literally like how it's going to go. You guys are going to go back to like 23. You play the Chiefs. The Chiefs, against one of the best defenses of football, put up like 400 yards passing and like a bunch of touchdowns. The Broncos game, The Packers game, toss. The Bengals. The Bengals are also one of them offenses that are like, okay, they could throw for fucking 400 yards at any point.
If we believe that Joe Burrow found it last week.
Well, it's not a matter of Joe Burrow finding it. It's if his offensive line can find it. And outside of Jeffrey Simmons, Bud Dupree is coming alive. He's coming better, but I still don't trust Bud Dupree as the number one edge rusher on the team. So that should give Burrow some time to get those guys open. And those corners cannot cover anybody. Your first round pick last year, Caleb Fairley, is on the way out.
He's not having a good time. He's not.
He's supposedly on your guys' trade block.
He's not having a good year.
And then after Cincinnati, you have Philly.
Which, listen, that's a loss.
That's a buzzsaw.
That's a loss.
Jaguars will play you tough because they always do.
But that should be a win.
Who knows? But it's tough. You could take that win. That's fine. But it's a tough game. That's another team that could hang 300. The Chargers. Who knows where the Chargers are going to be?
Win.
Even if they're like put together?
Win. I told you how I feel about the Chargers.
Okay, that's fine. And then you have the Texans again. That you could win that. The Cowboys.
And the Cowboys at the end of the year. And like you, I don't know what Cowboys team we're going to be facing. Are they fighting for the playoffs? Are they...
Well, you're not going to get a Cowboys team that will bench their starters. That I could tell you for sure. Whereas with the Dolphins, there's still potential the Dolphins could possibly win the division. Yeah. Right? Or or at least have a playoff spot on lock.
As I say, I mean, it could happen.
Or like their 5-6 seed could be on lock and they'd bench their guys. The Cowboys in a week 17 can be fighting.
It could be anywhere.
So it's like, I don't think they'll be in a spot where they're resting their starters, but they will be in a spot where they'll still be playing them. No, baby. Why are you here? Why am I here recording with children? Mommy's dropping the ball. That's mine. Mila, you want to say hi? Come. You want to say hi?
Will she jump on the screen? There she is. Look at all that hair. Look at all that hair.
Go to mommy. Mommy, open it.
Uh-oh.
And then you got Jacksonville again at the end of the year.
Runs the house.
So that's a tough stretch, Mike. Whether you think it is or not, that's actually a tough stretch where you have, 4 division games and a bunch of tough opponents. That's a tough stretch. No matter what way you cut it.
Well, like I said, I trust.
And whether you still win those games or not, that's fine. At that point, Mike, I've never said the Titans weren't going to be like the number one team in that division. That division stinks. But the defense is what I care about. And you're playing a lot of good offenses. Because that's where my money is. My money's on your defense, not on you. Because I would not put money that the Titans aren't making the playoffs. I wouldn't do that. But I will take money on that defensive ranking. Free money.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Especially off these high-powered passing offenses, attack the main weakness of it.
Hopefully, like I said, I'm just hoping.
Like, you can win those games. I don't care. You telling me, like, hey, Dylan, Titans win. I don't care. I don't care. I care that you're still giving up 300 yards a game. I don't care how the yards go. Though. What, 296?
Didn't this week.
296?
Did not.
Right about 300, Mike. It's fine. That's all I care about. Let's get to talk about these old bums.
And who's in more trouble?
Oh, the Bucs.
You think so?
I think the Bucs are in a world of trouble. A world of trouble. Because Brady's terrible.
He's not playing well.
This is the worst I think I've ever seen Brady play. Trust me, I've watched Brady twice a year for 20 years. My entire life. Because I'm a child. I'm 28 years old. I watched all of it. This is the worst I've ever seen. I don't think he's in trouble in the sense of he'll miss the playoffs. But I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow lost their way and the Saints end up making it, and which goes back to our prediction of the Saints winning the fucking division.
Which I picked.
Which we both picked. You picked them to be your Super Bowl team.
Yeah, and that was just that did not work. That's
which is terrible. And fun fact, I'm picking the Saints this week against the Raiders.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm mad at myself because you know what's funny is I wanted to pick the Eagles and I was like, nah, their defense.
We don't know anything about the Eagles yet.
I was like, they just don't have enough quite yet to. Because silly me thought the Packers and the Bucks would all still be there, and I was like, the Eagles can win the division, but they're not ready for the Rams and the Packers yet.
Rams are doing that thing where they make the Super Bowl and then they're bad.
They look bad.
This is the third time I've seen them go to a Super Bowl and then be bad the next year.
They look bad. Like, I'm starting to get worried about them making the playoffs. Like, they look bad. Like, oof. Which is crazy because there's too much talent on that team. There's talent on that team.
On the defensive side sucks. Their defense is bad. Like, not like if we're doing a ranking thing where it's like, oh, like we're doing where we have to be precise to the number. Put numbers aside, that defense is not good. Like, Aaron Donald's getting triple teamed. Jalen Ramsey's getting cooked left and right. Like, do you know who their number 2 corner is?
Nope.
It's Levi Wallace, who was in Buffalo the last, 4 years. He's a solid corner, but he's getting cooked. Once they lost Whitworth on the left tackle, Stafford, everything fell apart. Everything fell apart. Cam Akers wants out. Like, that whole team is in flux.
He might get traded, too.
Yeah, but I don't want the ghost of Cam Akers. I'm glad we didn't trade for him. I'm so glad we didn't trade for Cam Akers. That would have been terrible. Watch him. He's going to fuck around and end up on some dumb team. I don't know who's going to trade for him,
because I don't know what his asking price is.
Oh, you can probably get. Well, now that we know what James Robinson's asking price is, Cam Akers better go for a 7th or a 6th next year. At least the Jets. It's a 6th round pick that can be a 5th if James Robinson runs for 600 yards.
I was thinking like a 5 for what you call it.
But who, Robinson?
No, for Akers.
Akers. Well, the Jets gave a 6 that could be a 5 if Robinson runs for 600 yards.
Akers is better than him, so.
Is he?
He's better than
him. Again, this is Cam Akers is coming off of. Well, they both are coming off of ACL injuries, but Cam Akers, who really hasn't been the same.
But since they're saying it's personal stuff. I think he's just beefing with the coaches and stuff.
Who knows? I know. But the thing is that what I saw from Cam Akers this year is bad. What I saw from James Robinson when he played from this year is just James Robinson.
I was going to say, but this could be a Todd Gurley situation where the Rams were right.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, we were all killing McVay for how could you get rid of the heart and soul of your team and blah, blah, blah. And then went to the Falcons and out of the league within 3 years.
Retired.
Gone. So.
Todd Gurley aged quick. But Todd Gurley had knee issues, a ton of knee issues.
He had knee issues.
He had injury problems. So as good as Todd Gurley was, he had injury problems, and you can't invest in that.
I would say the only reason I disagree with you is because the Vikings just keep winning. Like the Packers are going to look up and they're going to be in a situation like they can't keep losing.
But the NFC's bad. The Packers will be in the playoffs. Unless the Commanders figured it out. Because Taylor Heineke is the guy.
Obviously, but Heineke, though, I mean,
Heineke is so much better than Carson Wentz.
He won't go away.
He got into that game and had so much more of a command of that offense than Carson Wentz ever had.
They should have never went and got Carson. It should have been Heineke's team from when he almost beat Brady a couple years ago. That should have been his team.
And the thing is, that Commanders team is only going to get better. Chase Young's coming back.
The defense is going to get better.
Chase Young will be coming back soon. There to wreak havoc on these offensive lines. Like that Commanders team, like despite what the Giants are doing right now, that Commanders team is a better put together team than the Giants are.
We all thought, I can't speak for you, but I thought that the Giants were going to be last in that division. But I thought Washington was better than them. I thought Washington was better than them. And then here we are, and Carson Wentz is
But the Giants still have to play their whole division.
Yes, the Giants have only played Washington, I believe.
No, Dallas.
No, Dallas. Dallas is the only team they played. So
they still got to play Dallas one more time. They have to play this Commanders team that's probably getting hot right now.
I can't wait for them to play Philly. That's going to answer everything. It's going to answer.
Is it?
It is because,
or it will just humble them a little bit.
Because
that team is not good enough to beat Philly.
They're not. I don't know how they're doing this, but
it's just like the Buffalo. Buffalo, we're either going to beat Buffalo or we're going to be fucking humbled. And that young team is just going to get a reality check. And that's just going to happen. I think the Giants are going to run to that team that's just going to fucking punch them in the chest and just be like, all right, relax.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down. You're where you need to be. And that could be a terrible thing for the Giants and the Jets. Where it's like you get humbled one time and now your confidence is gone.
And see how they react. Both teams react to it.
But I think both of those teams have the coaches to be like, listen, you're not going to win them all. We're not the 72 Dolphins or whatever the fuck it is. And that team sucked.
As much as we get on Rise about it, I mean, Dabs, as they affectionately are calling him, he is a good coach.
He's a very good coach. I think you could give somebody props without tearing somebody down.
And Rob's
will
king of that.
Brings up Dable while shitting on Salah.
Everyone, Roz does that with everyone. LeBron, the Jets, but he can't build somebody else up separately without tearing it down.
It's bad. That's bad. That's bad fandom.
Both
things can be true. Dable and Salah can both be good.
Both be good coaches. New York.
But again, Dable only has one more win than Salah does.
But it feels like so much more, doesn't it?
No. The way Roz talks, yes.
It feels, but it feels like the Giants are. It feels like the Giants are better than the Jets, and I don't think they are.
I don't think they are.
But it feels like that.
Because when you think about the last time the Jets lost, Flacco was playing quarterback. Everybody on the offensive line wasn't playing. And the defense was just being stupid.
To be fair, though, you should have lost to the Browns.
We should have. We absolutely should have. But again, if Zach Wilson plays, who knows? Because again, that Ravens team, they beat us by 15. And that was the worst game that Ravens team played besides that Cincinnati game. If Joe Flacco could just go from here to here, we could be looking at that game a whole lot different. A whole lot different. Because who knows? Maybe the offense scores. But who knows? Maybe if Zach Wilson's playing in the Bengals game. Because that Bengals game was a lot closer than that score shows.
It was in there for a little bit.
We were in it. And then they just started doing that thing where it's just like, hey, they got the ball back because we can't score. On fourth downs, we're not converting. And they're just getting the ball. The Bengals game was also a winnable game, but we have a mobile Joe Flacco who eats 3 straight Trey Hendrickson sacks. What am I supposed to do?
Bengals are an interesting team.
Bengals are interesting, but like, I don't know. It's hard to say, especially what the Jets' strengths are and what the Giants' weaknesses are. That's where it's like, as much as Giant fans will kill me for this, I really don't think that the Giants are a better team.
And as quiet as it kept, the Giants' defense is
very good,
unbelievably better than it was last year.
They're playing. They're that's a team playing above water.
Night and day.
That defense should not be as good as it is.
But it is.
They're playing as a unit, very good. But that's Wink. That's Wink Martindale. You have two of the best minds in football on offense and defense. Like, you're going to do something. You're going to make it work with the talent that you have, and that Giants defense doesn't have a ton of talent. Dexter Lawrence is playing really good. Tibbs is finally, like, playing football and is getting into rhythm. Like those corners are playing out of this world.
The Giants are turning into that team that you just don't want to play because they're going to just be pesky. And there's enough talent where you got to really play them. And it's just like, oh, God, I don't want to deal with them. Saquon's running all over the place, catching balls. Daniel Jones is not turning the ball over, shockingly.
But once he plays a team that's going to pressure him, then it's going to be like, okay.
Then we will see. Then we'll see if he gets that money.
We will see, because I would have loved for this to be the year the Jets and Giants play each other.
It would be so much fun.
I would have loved for this because, again, the Jets front four versus that Giants offensive line, fun. And the Jets corners versus that Giants wide receiver room, fun. But then the Giants defense versus our offense right now, as long as Zach doesn't make mistakes, then it's like, okay, you run the football and you play defense.
So, are we picking this Ravens-Bucks game on Thursday?
Yeah, give me the Ravens.
Do you have the line? I don't have the line.
I will give you the line. I think the Ravens are favorites. I think they're minus 3.5.
Minus 3.5 at home on a Thursday.
Let me see.
I might take that.
Let's see if Dylan wants to bet that game. No, it's a pick'em. It's 1.5. The Bucks are favored 1.5.
Oh, I'm taking that.
I'll take the Ravens plus 1.5.
Yeah, I would take that.
Give me the spread on that.
So
this is an absolute pick'em.
That's what I was going to ask you. So it's the Ravens and the Bucks, and it's the Packers and the Bears. The Packers and the Bills. Excuse me. Who's in more trouble? Who's in more trouble, and who needs the game more?
Oh my God, the Bills are 10.5 point favorites against the Packers.
Still might take it. Still might take it.
But Packers money line is plus 400.
Don't count out Aaron Rodgers.
Right? I've been hearing that. Don't count out Aaron Rodgers.
Don't count out Aaron Rodgers.
But he's out here losing.
He almost, I don't even know how he almost beat Washington last week. I still don't know how they were even in that game because,
you guys are only favored 2.5 against Houston.
The disrespect.
Well, this is where you're going to see whether Dameon Pierce is real or not. If Dameon Pierce is real and he has a good game, this Texans team could be difficult because that pesky Texans defense is good.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on the scroll on ESPN. -2.
On FanDuel, it has a -2.5.
ESPN's FPI gives us a 56% chance to win.
That can make sense on the -2.5 line then. But listen, the Texans got a guy at corner that's really fucking good.
Yes, they do.
And Derek Stingley. He did a good job on Devontae Adams last week. Really good job on Devontae Adams last week. Held him only 44, which is a big deal when you're covering 1A, a wide receiver. And if he's doing that to Devontae Adams, he's going to do that to fucking Robert Woods.
I want the Titans to get Jerry Jeudy so bad.
But you guys don't want to pay nobody.
They don't want to pay skill.
Can't pay nobody, really. Actually,
They
which
don't
is
want to
tough
pay.
because you do these contracts up, so you're gonna rent them and then let them walk. Like, that's dumb.
It would be a bad look to get him and pay him when we could have just paid AJ Brown,
Who is better?
way better. But I'm also, like I said, I'm also convinced that there was tampering involved in Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown conspired
Oh yeah.
to get out of there. So part of me doesn't like it, but I understand. But I mean,
So yeah, I'll say. Let me say the Packers are in trouble.
I think the Packers.
But again, I don't think it's a world where the Packers aren't in the playoffs.
I don't yet, but
because what you're gonna get two. You're gonna get two NFC East playoff teams at least.
At least
Cowboys and the Giants. One of them's gonna figure it out. The NFC West, you're lucky to get a winning record.
You might get three.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to get at least two.
You get Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants in the playoffs. I can see that world.
We're gonna get at least two out of there. The NFC West, we're gonna be lucky to get a winning record. And the NFC South, we're gonna be lucky to get a winning record.
The Niners might take off now.
Yeah, and the NFC South, you'll be lucky to get a winning record.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Tampa not having a winning record yet. I'm not at that point.
But like outside of Tampa, if anybody else has a winning record, you're crazy. Like
the boogeyman will figure it out.
Fuck the boogeyman.
He will figure it.
But at the end of the day, like you have Minnesota. Minnesota's winning games, but Minnesota's like team isn't great. Like their offense is really good. Their
offense is really good. Their defense is suspect, but right now they're just outscoring everybody.
Yeah, because nobody can stop them.
So I mean,
but then it's like the Packers. If the Packers could hit their stride, because they still have to play the Lions again. Mm-hmm. They still have to play the Bears. They might be able to get one in Minnesota.
He owns the Bears.
He might be able to get one in Minnesota for a split, just because. Well, let me pull up the Packers schedule. Let's play that game.
If it's one thing we know, it's Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears.
Death taxes. Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. All right, so we got the Bills. So okay,
Cowboys in here talking about some foosball, man.
We're almost done.
Well, I would say you can't wait until your segment, man.
Nah, man.
Goodness gracious, we're literally on the last subject. Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are both 3-4, and they both look old as fuck. And we're trying to figure out who's in trouble more.
So after the Bills, the Packers have the Lions.
Win.
They have the Cowboys.
That could be a loss.
That could be a loss. They have you guys.
Loss.
Okay. We're not even gonna like say an if. Like they have two iffy games.
Loss.
The Cowboys.
Rack it up.
I thought we don't count out Aaron Rodgers.
Loss.
All right. Two iffy games. The Eagles.
Loss.
The Bears.
Win.
The Rams.
Where?
Green Bay.
Win.
Miami.
Where?
Miami.
That's November?
It is December. It's Christmas.
Christmas.
Home field advantage in Miami doesn't matter because Miami doesn't have fans. And Packers travel.
But
it's criminal.
It's exactly Aaron Rodgers on prime time in a big stage.
Happy Chrysler.
That might
be Chrism.
I'm gonna give it a win. I'm gonna say it's a win.
The Vikings.
Loss.
Really?
Loss.
And the Lions.
Win. So I just gave them 8, right?
Mm-hmm. You gave them 8. I gave them 2 ifs. That could give them 9 and 10. Actually, I'm giving them the Vikings win.
The Vikings one I was thinking about because I was like...
Because that's in Lambeau.
They might split with them.
That's in Lambeau.
They could win that game.
I'm giving them Miami. I'm giving them the Rams. So they're 3 now, right?
Talking about making the playoffs. Packers are not making it.
I think they still can.
Listen, man. I know
I
that.
think the Packers and the Bucks have the same
I know that.
I think the Bucks have the same percentage chance of getting in the playoffs.
Nah, I know that Brady is dealing with a lot of stuff off
Fuck
the
'em.
field as well. Now listen, I know
Fuck
he's dealing with a lot of
'em.
stuff off the field as well. What's Rogers' excuse?
The team stinks.
He's throwing to me and you. That's what his excuse is.
The
He's
team
throwing to me. I'm
stinks.
getting a touchdown.
You're not.
And not in the NFL, you're not.
Chance is getting a touchdown.
I'm getting a touchdown.
Not in the NFL, you're not.
So,
Flag
right
football,
now.
maybe, not in the NFL.
You might have a better chance because you're at least
if Rodgers had Brady's weapons right now,
I'm convinced
they're a Super Bowl team. They're a Super Bowl team.
If you drop Aaron Rodgers on Tampa Bay, they're a Super Bowl team.
Super Bowl team. But right now, Brady has these weapons and is playing terrible.
Now their offensive line has been trash, but Brady has not played well.
So is Green Bay's, and Aaron is just looking for help. Just looking for help. Anybody.
That picture of him face down on the turf.
My favorite.
I felt so bad for my man. Why are you going out like
My favorite
this?
one is the edit with him face down and it has like pictures of the ghost of Zach Wilson, Daniel Jones, and Taylor Heineke.
Oh, man. Why are you going out like that?
Like, I don't know. I think their percentage of them both making the playoffs is about the same. Because if the Bucks continue this, then they're going to fuck around. The Saints are going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Packers and the Bucks can both still get in to playoffs, whether a team wins the division.
I think the Bucks just have an easier road because they have an easier road to the division than the Packers do.
But the Saints always play the Bucks good, though.
They do.
They do. And it's the same thing with the Vikings. The Vikings will play the Packers good and vice versa. So it's tough to say. I have to check back in like 4 weeks.
Yeah, we'll
check it back in 4 weeks.
We'll know by Thanksgiving.
Yes. So we'll check again for the Thanksgiving extravaganza and where these guys are. But
I'm calling it, man. Packers ain't making it.
Okay, so let's go this. If the Packers don't make the playoffs, what do the Packers do? What direction do they go in?
If they don't make the playoffs?
Because you have to consider abandoning ship.
You got it.
They're gonna have to rebuild around Brady. Around Rodgers.
Well,
they just gave Rodgers that bag.
But do they have to?
But I know. Do they have to though?
They just gave him a bag.
He's also old as shit.
You know, NFL money ain't real.
NFL money. Well, he has a good amount of guaranteed. Somebody will take that contract. So
he's Aaron Rodgers.
Imagine. Hey, Mike, hear me out. Imagine a world where the Packers miss the playoffs, and the New York Giants call.
If I'm the Giants, I got to pick up that phone.
Or if you're the Packers, you call. Like Brian Dable is sending text messages to Aaron Rodgers and say, "Hey, what receivers are we looking at?"
I got to pick up that phone. If I'm the Giants, I got to pick
over there. He just became the offensive player of the week.
James, I got to pick up that phone. Because
Daniel Jones isn't a long-term answer, so you might as well throw that motherfucker in the bin and bring in a guy who could win you a Super Bowl.
He can stay in the quarterback room. Let him learn from
Not making $30 million, he can't.
Well, yeah, no. Not making $30 million.
You can't pay him.
I'm picking up that phone. If I got to pay one of them $30 million, I'm paying Aaron Rodgers.
You just gotta. Aaron Rodgers has to be in charge of your personnel.
Let Aaron Rodgers come and Peyton Manning this trip.
Yeah, just bring in who you got, bring in whoever you want at wide receiver, and then we make it work. Or what other team
is supposed to bring them to the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, right.
That ain't happening.
Yeah, right.
What's their record right now?
5-1 is fine, but you can't pay a quarterback off of one good year. You can't. You do that, and then you end up like the Knicks after they paid Julius Randle.
Don't be talking about Julius.
Do the Giants have a chance? Have a shot at making the Super Bowl right now?
No.
I mean, no, because they're not.
No. Beating the Eagles. No, they're not beating the Cowboys. They're not beating the Eagles. They'll be lucky.
The Cowboys was the only team that beat them this year, I think.
No, I think they are the only team that beat them, but the Cowboys defense is really good.
I'm gonna tell you right
now. And the Eagles are better than the Cowboys.
They're not beating the Eagles.
And who knows if Dak played in that Giants game, it might have been a little bit more. So I like the Giants. The Giants are good, but I don't think they're good enough to win a playoff round.
That we're talking Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't know if they on that level. They might make the playoffs. They should make the playoffs.
If they make the playoffs, then it's like, okay, cool. Then you have like the any given Sunday thing. But I really wouldn't put money on it. And then, like, you call me biased, where it's like, where if the Jets, I think the Jets have a better chance of winning that first round. If they play anybody that's not the Chiefs or Bills, I think they have a chance of winning a game. Whereas if the Giants can win a game if they don't play the Eagles or the Cowboys.
Same boat.
Same boat. So, yeah, we're on the same boat. If they avoid those teams in the first round, they can win a game. Absolutely. So, we're the same boat. James, don't call me